Well, I set a timer on the other computer, although it took me a while to figure out how to do it. Anyway, the title for the video today, for the 26th of June, not 2016, is my 2000th video. Yes, I've been making videos every day since January 2011, although I did have some videos before that. I only missed 2 weeks or less when I was in the operating room or intensive care following my stroke, open heart surgery, and 3 heart attacks in April and May 2015. When I began nearly 5.5 years ago, I was much more willing to debate than I am now. In fact, I was quick to block people making comments that seemed totally insensitive to me when I was struggling for my life, having trouble breathing anytime I exerted myself. Then on February the 7th, 2016, they finally stole my home, which was for me an even worse blow than the health challenges. I am still hanging in there, although I remain unwilling to debate with people who come across as supercritical and demanding. You are entitled to whatever opinion you hold, as I am. If you want to debate, go elsewhere. I choose to focus as best I can on what I see as solutions to escape the horrific status quo in which the world is run by demons and psychopaths. Indeed, I did not plan on this being my topic for my 2000th video. However, because of dialogue in the previous video, that spurred me on to address some of these things that I talked about here. And some people demand me to answer their questions, and they keep on and on and on. That happened yesterday, or actually today, but for the video that, the previous video to this one. And I didn't block the person, but in any case, I don't have to answer everybody's questions. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Some questions, like the question that was there is, how do you know that you have free will? Free will to me is a given. It's not something that it's not something that is approved by some ruling class of people, demons or archons or elite establishment or Illuminati figures or whatever label you want to put on people that think they have the right to control other people. I don't buy it. They are in violation of the most basic principles of all given to human beings, and that is free will. But it's not free will that has no boundaries. It's free will that ends where the next person's free will begins. That's been the principle that I've gone by all of my life. I do not have a right to impose my will on someone else. Now, raising of children when they're little, you are responsible for trying to keep them safe. Now, we've been all brainwashed, so we don't understand even what safe is, because we've been misguided and undereducated. Anastasia, the recluse from the Russian taiga that I've talked about in many other videos, she raised her son as her grandparents and grandfather and great-grandfather raised her by observation, not by interference. We're not there yet consciously, not most of humanity. So we do the best we can with the way that we've been trained ourselves. But the elite establishment, they train their youth by violence till they beat the free will out of them until they do what they're told. And I mean, it's horrific, some of the things that I've read of how an elite child is raised in that establishment. It's horrific. And of course, they become totally desensitized to normal human emotion and normal human response. They're their whole mechanism of being human is not necessarily totally shut down, but greatly hindered from day by day operation, so that these people continue to think that they have the right to demand other people to follow what they want, not what the other person wants. And again, we're not talking about anything other than free will. If it's something that is lawful, that is not interfering with somebody else, we have a right to do it. We have a right to think for ourselves. We have a right to read what we want to read. We have a right to learn what we knew and speak. We can speak whatever we want, as long as it's not yelling fire and creating a panic in a room where that's not the reality. If it's the reality, then you have a right to scream fire. But if it's just to incite a riot, no, we don't have that right, because that can cause harm. But these are things that if we were taught them from our youth, the world would be way different than it is right now. But we're not taught them from our youth. We're taught the opposite from our youth. And this is the problem. This is the problem that we have as humanity. It's the problem that the world has. To me, it's the problem that our creator, whatever our creator is, it's the problem that lies ultimately at the feet of whoever made this thing and set it in motion without any limitations. There has to be reasonable limitations. That is, your free will begins and mine ends at that point. You have a right to think what you want, to read what you want, to speak what you want, as I have a right to not allow arguments on my channel. It's my channel. And I have a right to stop people from debating, because I don't choose to enter into debates with people, period. I mean, I'll express my opinion. I may talk about things that other people have suggested to me, but I will not engage them individually in private. I will state it online. If there's something that I need to take private, I will make it private. But it's not about contentious things. It's about things that need to be kept private. And some things in our lives need to be kept private. And I need to learn some of those boundaries myself, because to me, I've been such an open person for so long that sometimes what needs to be kept private for another person isn't the same for me as happened when I'm on my trip to Australia with my hostess. But in any case, I feel that I needed to make this video and remind you that it is my 2000th video. I hope to deal with another subject in the next video, and I hope to have more conversations with people. I'm open to do that. Other than Aristo and the people that I've already been engaging a little bit, I want to open that up to have more interaction. But I also want to deal with remedies. I feel that I haven't. I've taken a back seat over the past year and a half or so, or even more than that, from actually being involved in something that is going to remediate the situation, especially in the United States. And as the United States goes, the whole world will end up following. The United States is the terrorist nation on the earth. And of course, it's run by Israel, unfortunately, or by the Khazarian Jews that claim to be Jews and aren't. They're an acronym, or that's not the right word, but they're an anomaly, as a better word. And yet they are the ones that set the principles and stuff like that, and their principles are horrible. I mean, this group of non-Jews that claim to be Jews, and then we were warned about Jews that claim to be Jews, but they are not. We are warned about that in the Bible. But these people have raped the planet and terrorized the nations. And I want to deal with some possible remedies with that in some future videos. So thank you for listening to my 2000th video. I welcome your comments, but I'm not going to argue with you. Bear that in mind. Thank you very much, and namaste.